If you enjoy art journaling or sketching, then reusing old kids' books might be the way for you to go, because it's a really nice, cheap, easy way to make a little sketchbook or art journal, especially if you've got kids who get rid of their books and they're not good enough to give to charity shops, like these ones here. Now I'm going to show you how I made mine. I use these small books because these are the ones that I've got, but they actually make art journaling really manageable because you don't have quite so many pages to fill. So you feel like you can fill a book quite easily. In order to make it so that it's not so packed full, I would suggest you select 2 pages at a time, stick those together, and then remove a few pages. I'm keeping 2 pages, which I'll stick together, and then I'm removing 4 pages in between. Then I'll keep 2 pages, and then I'll remove another 4 pages. And that makes the book so that it's not quite so fat and squishy when you're working in it, because we're going to add some gesso in there as well. I'm going to be using my book as a little collage art journal. So there's going to be quite a lot of extra paper put in there. So by keeping a couple of the pages and then removing 4 in between each one, it makes it a little bit more manageable. So I go through the book and I do that. And then what I'm going to do is stick them together so that it makes a really nice, thick page to work on. And that means that my work isn't going to go through to the next page. And also it makes it nice and sturdy. It adds a little bit of extra weight. So I'm using matte medium, but you can probably add PVA, to be honest, or Mod Podge, something like that. And I'm using one of my trusty tools of the trade, which is obviously an old gift card, but you can use anything. These really do come in handy. So always save your gift cards. And I put a little bit of matte medium in between, give it a bit of a scrape with my gift card, and then that just smooths it out. And then I'm using a clean gift card just to smooth out the paper and make sure that there are no wrinkles. And I'm just creasing down the middle to make sure that the page moves nice and easily. And then I do exactly the same with the other 2 pages next to it. And I'm going to stick those together. So I'm just adding the matte medium in between. I'll use the card to just smooth it out. And you get the idea. I'm just going to stick those together, and I'm just going to do that and finish the book and make sure that each of these 2 pages is stuck together. Now that leaves a nice manageable number in the book, and it just makes the books feel not quite so overwhelming. I don't know about you, but sometimes I do start art journals and sketchbooks, and sometimes it takes me forever to finish them. So that makes me less inclined to go into the book. Now I'm trying really hard to use books all the way through, but I think this is just a really nice way to use up some old books to find new life again. I mean, of course, it can go in the recycling bin, but I just think it's a really nice way to reuse them and to make something of your art so that you don't feel intimidated opening up a new sketchbook. And when I finished adding all the pages together, I'm going to cover this book because I don't really want to paint the front cover because it's quite shiny. It's got a gloss finish to the book. So what I'm doing is just using some recycled paper, and I am doing exactly the same as I did with the pages. I'm just using some matte medium on there, spreading it out, and I'm going to cover my book just like you used to with your school books and wallpaper, probably if you were younger and did that at school. And I'm just covering it with this lovely thick Kraft paper, and you can get this in, it's like an Amazon packaging type thing, and I'm literally just covering it with the matte medium and then adding the lovely Kraft paper on top of there, and that gives me a lovely sturdy surface, a nice blank surface to work on. So I'll probably do something on the front of the book as well, and that just makes it my own rather than having to look at the actual cover of the original children's book. So I'm smoothing that out again using these wonderful gift cards. They are so handy, and I'll trim off the excess, trim off my corners, and that makes it easier to fold. And when you are folding in your corners, just make sure that you press that corner in so that it covers the actual corner of the book itself. Make sure you always put enough glue to the edge of the book covers, and that way it'll stick nice and securely. So when I've done the outside of the cover, I then add a little bit of extra paper to the inside, and that's then just adds a little bit of sturdiness, covers that inside front cover. I've kept a couple of them with the text showing, the pictures showing, because that's actually a really effective way of getting your brain to calm down when you're sketching, because you feel like you're not starting with a blank page. So sometimes I sketch over the top, but this is a really nice way to just obscure some of the text and the pictures in there by using a little bit of gesso. And again, I'm using a new gift card and just scraping over some plain white gesso over the pages and the front cover, the inside front cover and inside back cover, obscuring some of that text. I am drying it in between using my heat gun, but you could just leave it open if you wanted, or maybe put some baking parchment or greaseproof paper, something like that, in between the pages so they don't stick together. But obviously you don't want to do it and then leave the pages stuck together, because obviously you're just going to end up with a horrible mess there. So I'd do it one at once, or dry them in between. And when I've covered all of my pages with the gesso, that makes a really nice surface for me to play with and work with. I am using this one for some collage, but also I'll be using it to do some sketching and some art journaling in there as well. I also reinforce the spine by using a few bits of the leftover paper that I use for the cover, and it off from strips. I stick that on so that it keeps the pages nicely together, and that just adds a little bit of reinforcement. And that makes a really nice sturdy book then. When that's all done, I've got this lovely little art journal ready to use, and there's not that many pages in here, so it's really nice and easy to fill. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye.